Hey, what's going on?
Graham, what's going on? What's your take?
Well, my take is, well, first of all, you're proven innocent and guilty in the court of law, right? So I don't know about, I can speak to all 88 charges. That's a lot of charges. What I want to make a point or debate is this recent case out of New York that he was found guilty, right? And he had to pay his fine, right? I guess it was falsifying business documents, correct? Was the formal charge, something along those lines. My argument is I have a problem with both prosecutors in both cases. Letitia James clearly has some political motivations, and that's clear, right? That's her
How is
statements.
that clear?
Because she ran her campaign saying that she wanted to get Trump,
Yeah,
right?
because we knew at that point that Donald Trump had already committed persistent fraud. That's why.
She knew at that point before
Yes.
she ran that he consistently,
Yes, we already knew
but
that.
that was, we
Yeah, we already knew
did?
that. Yeah.
How did we know that?
We knew that from a 2018 Forbes article. Well, Cohen had said that he had done it as well, but we knew it directly from a 2018 Forbes article that laid out that Donald Trump's penthouse, he had been lying about it in his statements of financial conditions. Actually had a reporter that went and pulled the blueprints and the specs for the building and found out that he was lying about the size of it and had been.
Well, and can I interject as a professional accountant? Your business records, if you're not subject to GAAP, which is generally accepted accounting principles in the United States of America, as a private company, although many follow GAAP, you're not required to. You can do your books backwards. That's just a fact.
You can't
So
lie about the size of your property though, like and
you're not
purposefully do it.
lying.
No,
You're
you're
not
lying.
lying.
If yes, you are. If
You're
you
not
if
lying. You
it's
can
ten
value
thousand,
your assets
no, you
according to
can't.
your own accounting
Yes,
practices.
you can value your assets, but that's not what happened. Donald Trump factually lied. You're an accountant, right? If I lied about the square footage of an office space in my home, that would be fraud because I'm
Was
taking a
that
tax
was
deduction
that
on it.
proven in the court of law?
Yes, Donald Trump overvalued his property because he listed it as penthouse as being 33,000 square feet and not the 11 that it was, which led to tens of millions of dollars in his statement of financial conditions so that he could leverage more money off of it.
And leverage more money, meaning borrow money and pay it back.
Borrow, yeah, get more favorable loans and borrow more money.
Yeah, so maybe he benefited some. We could say that, right?
Well, he benefited a lot. He leveraged his properties out 10, 30 times what their values were.
Okay. So do you believe in the valuation of the district attorney of what Mar-a-Lago's worth?
That's not their valuation.
Whose is it?
That is the Palm County assessor's valuation, and that is the one that Donald Trump has been paying on.
Is the assessed value of your property? Do you own property?
No,
Okay. This is good. The assessed value of your property isn't market value, correct?
I'm aware, but that's not the problem. The problem is not that he was paying $18 million in tax, even though that's low for that property. Admittedly so, there's no problem with that because tax assessment always lags behind market, right? In that instance, the
Not just a
problem.
little bit. It lags a
Okay,
lot.
yeah, the problem is not that he was
Is
paying
that
18 million.
fraud?
Cool. The problem is not that he was. Let me see if this guy can join. The problem is not that he was paying $18 million in taxes. That's what Palm County assessed. That's their problem, right? The problem is that Donald Trump took that property that had an $18 million tax assessment. It actually was 27 and a half currently. It was 18 million in 2011, but it's 27 and a half million. He was paying on that because there were deed restrictions that he could not use, that he could not use the property for certain things. It couldn't be used as a single family. It could only be used as a club, and you can't change anything about the property. You can't subdivide it, nothing, right? And he would take those deed restrictions and leave them out of his statements of financial conditions and go, no, 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 it doesn't have any restrictions on it. You can do whatever you want with it. And so he could leverage more money than the property's worth. How much the property is worth, I saw Michael Popak, I think it was today, say, and he works in Florida, and he's actually a deed attorney. He said somewhere between 100 to 200 million dollars for the property is probably what the value is. And Donald Trump was assessing it at being worth 700 million dollars with no deed restrictions. So, but that's fraud.
I don't think
Leaving
the
that
punishment
off.
fit the crime. I think that
Why? Why
it was
not? Why not? He made
premeditated.
all of this money from it. Like he made 50 years. He built and grew his business off of lying, off of fraud, and his tax fraud as well. Yeah.
Setting a value on your asset based on your own opinion is
Yeah,
not
you can do that.
fraud,
No,
by the way.
you can do that. That's not what he did.
Yeah,
If he had
it's not
taken
fraud.
Mar-a-Lago, if he had, that's not what he did though. If he had taken Mar-a-Lago and he said, "I believe this is worth $700 million to the bank," and he included all of those deed restrictions, that wouldn't be a problem. He would not be in trouble. But he didn't do that. He purposefully ignored the deed restrictions in Mar-a-Lago and represented it as being able to do whatever he wanted. And he did this on numerous
And what a,
properties in various different ways. In some properties, he would represent them as being non-rent controlled while they were in fact were rent controlled. He would lie about the size of his penthouse. He would lie about the properties and deed restrictions on them so he could leverage more money.
lying is not fraud.
Yes, lying on statements of
Okay, I
conditions is
mean
fraud.
it's
You're an
and getting
accountant,
a
Pot.
loan.
I want you to think about that for a second, because you're an accountant.
No, I am. Yeah.
Lying
No,
on
lying is
statements
not
of
fraud.
financial conditions to the bank is yes, it is.
No, it's
False.
not.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
he when no, you don't even own property, man. How can you do
Because
that?
I went to school for
You
criminal
know,
justice, and I'm telling you, this is the most crazy
I went to
shit I've
school
ever
for
heard.
accounting and
I know, and
business.
you didn't learn much
yeah.
because you cannot lie. Can you
And
lie on bank loan? Please
I
answer.
also
Can you lie on
haven't
bank loan app?
graduated.
That's cool. Can you? Well, you should go back and get your money. Can you tell me? Uh,
Yeah, I think
can
I'm
you tell
probably
me?
more successful than you,
I,
but
I
I mean,
don't
it's okay.
care, man. I mean, I have 400,000 followers and I get to talk for a living, so I'm doing pretty well for myself. But you get back to crunching those numbers with your
Good.
calculator. You're doing a good job. So if you could listen for
I
a second,
know
I'd appreciate
it
it.
hurts.
Can
It
you
hurts.
lie?
It
Please stop.
hurts.
Thanks. I
You
know
know.
you're getting wrecked right now. Just listen. Can you lie on a statement to the bank that you know is false?
If I want a loan,
That's
it's
a
my
simple
oblic.
question. I don't need the roundabout way of you trying to explain this away. Can you purposefully lie to a bank about your financial conditions or about your property?
No, I don't think you can.
Okay, that's what he did.
Well, that's debatable.
That's not
I
debatable. I can
mean,
read you the law.
it is debatable, and somewhat you have to look at people. You have to look at the justice system
All
with
right, you can be quiet for a second so I can read this. Thank you. You're muted. Section 1014 of the federal banking law prohibits any person from making a false statement to almost any federally chartered or federally insured financial institution to obtain a loan or credit extension. The law is the product of more than 70 years of evolution and consultation of the more than 12 federal laws on this. Using Google, actually, this is from the DOJ, but okay.
I think you need to look at the prosecutor and their motivations,
I
and
think you need
look
to
at the
address the
judge and his
fact that
motivation.
Donald Trump lied on his loan applications relentlessly.
I think you're a little too convinced of that because you
I know.
just
I
want to
don't.
believe it.
It
You
was
have
found.
to
It
look
was
at the
found in court to have
prosecutor.
happened.
You have to look
They
at the
provided the
judge, and
evidence.
you have
No,
to
I
look
don't
at
need
the
to look at
political
this. You
motivation.
need to look at the evidence. Okay,
You
he
do.
lied on his statements of financial condition. Period. There's nothing to talk about. You can hate Letitia James all you want. Oh my God, it's so unfair that she brought the charge.
No,
But the
he
fact
valued
remains,
it at a
Donald
value
Trump.
that
Donald
maybe
Trump
you
put
don't
his
think it's worth
Cool.
on
Donald
his
Trump put his
books.
signature on a fraudulent statement of financial conditions. And there's no arguing with that because that's in court record.
Oh, you mean the court that just determined without a jury, judge, or
I
anyone
would
else
like,
that
because
he's guilty?
Donald Trump requested a judge
Is that how
trial.
the
Because Donald
justice
Trump
system works?
requested a judge trial. But I want to reiterate, because you're ignoring this, right? You're purposefully ignoring it. What you're doing right now is attempting to make the court look corrupt for bringing him to justice and ignoring what
corrupt.
I just said. Donald
It's
Trump
corrupt.
submitted documents of his statement of financial conditions that were false. He's in one instance, which would be a lie, okay? I'll give you two. Actually, I can give you a couple. He did not include deed restrictions, okay? He lied about the size of his property in Manhattan that changed his statement of financial condition by tens of millions of dollars. He lied about properties that were restricted in terms of their ability to have rent control, and he represented these to the banks as not having any of these restrictions. That is in court, and that's not explainable by saying, well, what did Letitia James make him write
Who's the
that?
victim? Who's the victim?
The banks and the taxpayer.
The banks got paid back, correct?
No, they didn't.
Which bank didn't get paid back?
I'll give you one, Ladder Financial. Donald Trump
Ladder
lied to
Financial,
obtain more
he did not
favorable.
pay his loan.
Donald Trump lied to
take
obtain
your
more
word for it.
favorable loans. He got a better
Okay.
rate on the loans
And the
because he
bank
lied.
takes your information and then they do their own vetting, correct?
Doesn't matter.
And then they determine
It
whether or not
does
they want to
not
believe
matter
you.
for purposes of the law.
It doesn't matter that the bank has an
It doesn't matter.
obligation to review
Nope.
your documents and determine whether
They
or not
did
they want to
review his
loan you the
documents,
money.
yeah, and they relied on
And
it.
it
Not
doesn't matter
always.
that he
It
paid
does not
back
matter.
his loans.
I don't know what you're not getting about this. It would be like this. It'd be like, well, but listen, he did rob the bank, but he didn't make it out of the bank with the money, so it's not bank robbery. That's not how it works.
Oh, it does not how. I mean, bank robbery and then this is the same. It's
Yes.
close.
Yeah, it's stealing. Yeah. Get out of my life.
We do not care.
I'm going to exercise that kick. That's shameful. That's shameful. You're an accountant. You're an accountant and you're out here saying that that's not fraud.
Why the hell is it so hard for them to believe that he's a fraud? It's wild, considering how many things he's been charged and convicted. A jury
know.
of his peers have convicted him with fraud.
Could you imagine? They don't have any of this logic with anything else, right? They don't have any of this logic with anything else. If some guy is like, tries to cash a bad check. Well, he tried to cash a bad check, but no one made away with the money. I mean, the logic doesn't make sense. The fact that you're an accountant, this is a simple, yes, you cannot lie to a bank about your statements of financial conditions. Donald Trump lied to banks for a reason. He didn't just lie to banks for no reason. What do you think, what the f would he do that for? He lied to banks so he could get more credit at a more favorable loan rate. And hence, he paid a lot less money in interest. He also lied about his properties to tax assessors and to the state. He would say, well, actually, my property has decreased X amount. Like, he would take a property, say, oh, well, it's decreased this amount, so he could write it off on taxes while simultaneously turning around to the banks at the same time frame and saying, give me a shitload of money because this has no restrictions on it. And its value's actually gone up. That's fraud. That's fraud. Simultaneous, it's probably, I'm going to be honest, it's probably like just outside of, did Donald Trump lie about his deed restrictions? It's almost certainly fraud that he misrepresented them in two very different ways at the same time. Because he knows. You can't say, well, I know. You can't say, I know the property didn't go up, because they have your document showing you knew it went down. So, but they always do this thing. Oh, it's Letitia James. This is the Republican mantra, right? It's not Donald Trump clearly did this. It's, oh, they're out to get him. No, they're not. He's just a fucking criminal. Why wouldn't they make up some more random charges that would... Why wouldn't they just make up the most heinous charges? I could think the easiest one is he was on Epstein's Island. That would be a real... We could charge him on that. And that would be a way easier sell to everybody. Well, here's the flight logs. Oh, shit. Why? And I just want to know, if Donald Trump is so innocent, how come he keeps losing in court? Over and over. He's the most popular person on the planet, but everybody's against him in the courtroom. Why? Why can't he find one person that supports him? Why does he keep losing? He's lost 5 grand juries now. He lost the defrauding a children's charity case, the E. Jean Carroll case twice. He lost the Trump University case, and he lost the tax fraud case for the Trump Organization. How many more times they got to get this guy? 17 felony counts.
It's wild.
But see, if you claim, like, this is the problem though, if like I've said this before, if you can claim that everybody that's against them is fraudulent for unspecified reasons, you can never be wrong. The reason Donald Trump didn't commit crime, no, Letitia James is out to get him. Well, what about the time he submitted the lie, the fucking false statements of financial condition? Well, and the court was unfair. Why are you not addressing the fact that he submitted this for 50 fucking years as a statement of financial conditions and it was a lie?
Yeah.
Listen, y'all need to fucking cope, okay? He keeps losing in court and he's going to continue to lose. Period. And the more he loses, like, you guys, it's so pathetic now. He gets 3 charges removed that are probably going to go back on anyways. And you guys are like, oh my God, he's winning. That's how fucking delusional you are. It you know, it's like the same level of delusion for people that supported Jim Jones. Like after they drank the cup, like, I'm going to live forever. Like, you guys just don't understand fucking reality. He didn't, except that he did. Yeah, go ahead, Sharon.
They also can't identify publicity stunts. And like what he did by going to making a big, deal about going to the New York police, officer's funeral wake. That was just a big publicity stunt. It was to make people think that he cared about, and he doesn't. He didn't. Why didn't he attend Brian Sicknick's, funeral?
Right. No, he's just there's nothing. There's no redeemable quality about the guy. Nothing. Not a thing.
Nothing.
Everything is used as political.
Not you. I'm sorry. Not you. I was talking to somebody.
No, you're good. Everything that the guy has no redeeming qualities. None. Not a single one. He even lied about donating his salary to an HBCU. This guy has no redeeming qualities. Not one. And I will wait. I will wait right now for someone to give me one redeeming quality this guy has, except the fact that he's a f***ing loser. So I know his ass is going to prison, and I know his ass ain't winning in 2024 because he's a persistent loser.